My name's Tuffy Stone, and I'm the head cook for Cool Smoke from Richmond, Virginia. And we're currently cooking and getting ready for the American Royal Invitational 2010. And we got back from cooking for the troops on Monday this week. We had the fortune and the pleasure to travel overseas and go to Kuwait and cook for a bunch of hard-working, hard-fighting men and women, U.S. Army, some Marine Corps. There were some British soldiers over there, some Navy personnel, probably some Air Force. We were able to go and cook in 2 bases. This trip was put together by the brainchild of John Marcus. He and Senator Al Franken have been working on putting this trip together for about 5 years. And I was asked a year ago if I would participate. Being a former Marine myself, I got really excited about the opportunity to be able to cook for the troops. John put together 5 pitmasters: Johnny Trigg, Jamie Gear, Nicole Davenport, Myron Mixon, and myself, along with John Marcus and a few others. It was part of a USO tour, and we had one USO representative travel with us. We did a direct flight from DC to Kuwait. That was about 12, 13 hours in there. Old Hickory was fortunate enough. They built 2 big pits, and they were shipped over, and that was what we were able to cook the product with. We were able to ship some hickory over. As you can imagine, everything about this trip was very challenging. A lot of details, a lot of people involved. And in addition to that, Head Country was so kind to donate rub and sauce. We cooked, the menu was brisket, chicken leg quarters, baked beans, slaw, potato salad, and rolls. And we got to Kuwait. I'd never traveled to the Middle East before. Obviously, it's very hot over there. We were fortunate. The hottest day we had while we were there was 115 degrees. I think hot over there is about 135 degrees. We were embraced and received by all of the military over there in a really positive. It was very overwhelming. These troops were great. I can see why we're safe and sound at home. Just a lot of spirit, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of energy, and they were very, very enthusiastic about getting involved with us and cooking barbecue. We had a lot of volunteers. We had to cook 1,100 pounds of brisket for each cook, and we had to cook 2,400 leg quarters for each cook. And obviously that's a lot of work and a lot of rubbing, and it was pretty cool. It was really cool to see how much enjoyment this group of people was getting working with us and cooking barbecue. You know, I think barbecue's always been really popular, and I think after 9/11, I think it only grew, and we're really seeing not only competition barbecue but backyard barbecue. So many things in barbecue world right now are just exploding. But you know, going overseas and feeding these troops and seeing how excited they wanted to learn, and there was just so many great things that happened, and just one of the things I learned being over there in the Middle East, and once again, I'm repeating myself, it was hot. I don't think any foliage or trees really live over there unless they're planted as part of landscape and they're actually watered. I mean, very harsh environment. But what I learned over there was when we finally got those old hickories fired up and had some hickory going and had some brisket cooking and started getting going, and you could all of a sudden smell barbecue in the middle of the desert in Kuwait. I learned that barbecue smells great whether you're here at the Royal or whether you're in Kuwait. And when you saw that aroma kind of start to filter through the base, and you could just see how it connected so many of the soldiers, I think, back to home and back to something that's American, and it was pretty cool. I feel so grateful that John and Senator Franklin were able to pull this together. I'm so appreciative that the USO found a place for a mission like this, and it was really awesome to just watch how just the smell of barbecue just connected literally thousands of men and women that are over there so bravely, you know, watching out for us back home here, and how that something like barbecue just bridged that gap, you know, all those miles. And it was at the end of our second feeding, second base, and I was pretty tired. We'd worked really hard. All of us worked really hard, and we'd had a lot of sleep deprivation, and we'd finally finished the second feed, and the second feed was about 2,000 troops. And I was tiredly walking down this hall, and there was two soldiers sitting at like chairs that have like a little school desk in front of them, and gentleman, the soldier, was kicked back, and you could tell he was pretty sated, and you know, laid back, just empty plate in front of him. And I asked him how it was, and he said he closed his eyes for a minute and he was home, and that was really cool. And we were as a group, you know, we were able to go over there and experience something like that, and it was a really great time, and it was just due to John Marcus and Senator Al Franken working really hard to make this happen. And I'm really lucky to have been. It's one of the things that's really interesting, and I'm probably going into babble mode now, but when I shared with some of my close friends or family where I was going and what we're going to do, it was pretty much 100% of the time the response was, do you need anybody else? There were so many people that just wanted to be involved and be a part of that. So, and we shared that with the troops over there. It was a great time. I think they liked it, and I'm glad.